Hey everyone, it's the Gig Guy, London, and today I'm going to do a video about Ubering around a full-time job and the feasibility of it. I want to give a shout out to Jamal Johnson. Jamal was considering, or is considering, working for Uber around a full-time job to finance a new vehicle. He wants to get a Tesla. He's a Londoner and he wants to get my view on it. So there's a few points that we're going to have to cover to look at the feasibility of everything. What's your full-time job? If you are doing a 9 to 5 and you want to Uber around that, we're going to have to look at, is it feasible? How far do you live away from work? How do you travel to work? Do you work in central London? Do you take public transport? Or can you drive and park up outside your workplace? You working in the outskirts or somewhere with off-street parking or free parking? That's a consideration. In my full-time job, there's free parking down the street, so I don't have to worry about taking public transport in or having any permit parking or paying to park my vehicle during the day whilst I'm at work. So that is a real benefit. If it wasn't for that, maybe it wouldn't be feasible for me to be driving on the Uber platform in my free time. Now, I've also got to look at the hours that you work. I do shift work, so sometimes I might work in the morning between like 8 and 2 p.m. Other times I might work in the afternoon from 2 till 10, or somewhere during the day. And sometimes I get like 4 days off in a row. Sometimes I get 3 days off in a row. So it all depends on my rota. Now, that works well for me because sometimes I can go and do a few hours in the morning, as I did today, make some money, go home, relax, and I'm going to start work 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So yeah, I've made some money this morning, quite feasible. Now, if you're doing a 9 to 5, how are you going to find time to Uber? Are you going to Uber after work? Are you going to Uber before work? Or are you going to leave it just for weekends? If you are going to Uber just for weekends, what was I going to say? If you're going to Uber just weekends, you're going to have to be putting in hours. So you're going to be Ubering every single weekend to meet your outgoings. Which brings me to my next point. Now, if you're going to be financing a Tesla, I don't even know how much them cars are, but I know they are not cheap. I know they have a new model coming out, which is going to cost about 35 grand, somewhere between 30 and 40 grand. I'm not sure of the exact price. But it's going to be a fully electric vehicle. If that's what you're deciding on getting, you have to look at the finances behind that. And also the finances for getting started on the Uber platform. So let's say, for example, your vehicle costs £400 per month for repayments. You're also going to have to insure your vehicle. Now, if you currently have a vehicle, you're most probably, and you're not a private hire driver, you're most probably going to have a private insurance. So you may have a few years no claims bonus, as I did prior to starting with Uber. Now, the difference between a private policy and a commercial policy, car insurance policy I'm talking about, is they're completely different. So if, like me, I had 10 years no claims, or over 10 years no claims before I started with Uber, and that all went to pot. When I got my commercial hire and reward insurance, I started with 0 no claims bonus. So if you are happy to give that all up, and those, low insurance annual renewal quotes, then by all means jump in with Uber. If you're not, then don't do it. Now, how much is the insurance going to cost? Jamal, you said you live in London. I'm going to give you a quick quote. It's going to be £3,000 upwards for the first year. Yeah, so that's going to be dropping in at maybe, I don't know, £250 a month. Yeah, on average, This is a minimum of 3k for the first year. You're gonna be going in with zero, no claims. So they're gonna be charging you what they like. So it's gonna come in at like 3k. So put that together with, I don't know, let's say £400 for the Tesla. Not sure how much it's gonna cost, but so that's 400 for the car and 250 for the insurance. Now that is coming in at 650 a month. Now, if you're not a private hire driver, you're going to have to go and get a license, a PCO license, and that's going to be coming in about, let's say, £450 to £500 for the application, plus maybe 2 months for the application to kind of go through. And that's going to include the cost of the application, the grant of the license, DBS check, police check, make sure you're not a crim, or your convictions are not too harsh, you're not a rapist or a murderer or somebody else who's doing some sadistic nonsense. So they're going to be looking at all that as well. A medical check and a map reading assessment, which is pretty easy if you've got a good general knowledge of London. Nothing like what black cab drivers have to do, thankfully. Yeah. Black cab drivers, you get my ratings because I couldn't do it. It's a lot of left turn, right turn, one-way streets, blah 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 blah. Yeah, I ain't got time for that. Anyway, so that's going to cost 500 quid. Yeah, that's going to be your startup costs, and plus what we at now, 650 a month. Other things to consider: you're going to need to get your PHV badge on your vehicle once you get your vehicle. That costs £100. Now the PHV badge is that little circular badge that you see on all private hire vehicles. It's usually in the top left hand corner of the windscreen, and it's in the rear view, in the rear window as well. It's like an MOT. They just check your vehicle for safety, and then they issue you with the badge. It costs like, I don't know, 100 quid, maybe a little bit more actually, I'm not even sure. I'll get mine renewed next month. Oh my god. So yeah, that's another £100 on top of the £500 just to get you going on the road. So you're looking at 650 for the car and insurance repayments per month, and then you're gonna have to be, well, there's no petrol because you're gonna be getting an electric vehicle, but obviously if you're charging at home or you're charging on the road, those are costs you're gonna have to consider, because your electricity bill is going to be a little bit higher if you're charging your car at home. If you're charging it on the road somewhere, one of those pit stops, yeah, it's 3 hours that you're going to be sitting around charging your vehicle, plus whatever it costs to charge your vehicle at those points. So yeah, if you're on the road with your electric vehicle, for instance, and you're running low and you need to charge, and it's coming up to rush hour, and you know you're going to be sitting there for 3 hours, by the time those 3 hours are done, you probably missed that rush hour rush and all those extra money and the surges and so on and so forth. But it's probably going to be cheaper for you anyway in the long run to have an electric vehicle on the road as opposed to a petrol vehicle or a diesel or a hybrid. And your tax is going to be free as well, so that's a benefit. So yeah, that's to consider. Now, as I said, on average, I mean, I do £500 a week with my eyes closed. So to keep your car on the road, it's probably going to be costing a minimum of £650. So you're going to be working the first probably week and a half for free if you're, driving a minimum and making a quick £500. It's not hard. You can make £100 each morning. That's not even an issue. So you can make, if you work every morning, on average, I do, as I said in previous videos, I do £500. I do £20 an hour. I do on average. Sometimes a bit more, sometimes a bit less. January is pretty pants because everyone's broke, so I'm waiting till the end of January. I'm still doing my £500 a week, but there's not really much scope to be doing much more than that around my full-time job. Yeah, so if you decide to go ahead with it, good luck, be organised, stay on TFL. If you're applying for your PCO licence, make sure everything's in order and everything comes at once, and I wouldn't advise buying a car before you get your PCO licence. because it could all go belly up, and you're going to be left, if you don't get your license, if they don't grant your license for whatever reason, you're going to be left with some finance payments for a car that you may not want to be paying for, and then if you go to resell it, you might not get the money you paid for it, and you're still going to be left with an outstanding loan for a car that you don't have. So yeah, get your PCO license first if this is what you want to do. Get your car, get it insured. Look around for insurance, obviously, same way you would do with a private policy. The quotes vary by hundreds, so you could save yourself a fortune by just spending a little bit of time looking around. And yeah, jump on the road. Not sure what area you're working in, but know your routes, and just know where the busy areas are. In the mornings, it's in residential. During the day, it can be anywhere, and in the evening, it's probably anywhere central you are in London. You're going to get a job going out and around central London as well. So yeah, I mean, and be a good driver. Be a good driver. You know, you're going to be on the road. In all reality, you're going to be on the road a lot more than you usually are. So yeah, I mean, know your car, know the width of your car. I mean, know your tolerances. The last thing, driving. I mean, you're going to be driving for like 5 hours at a time. Yeah, so yeah, get used to it. That's the reality. If you've got family, yeah, it's going to have an effect on your family life. If you're not just working one job, but working 2 jobs, you're going to be spending a lot less time at home, and you may be getting home feeling a little bit more tired. So the interactions may not be as gravy as they usually are. So that's something to consider. If you're saving for something, you know what I mean, just have your plan, have it all set out, hit your targets, and do what you got to do. Yeah, and if you've got a partner, have a forgiving partner, you know, and treat him once in a while. You know, don't just be out there working and sleeping and working and sleeping and working and sleeping. Find a balance. Balance is the key. So yeah, keep on that, man. This is a 12-minute video. I'm done. If you've got any questions, leave them below. If you're an Uber driver and you've got anything else for any potential new drivers who are coming on the roads, any good information that might be handy, leave your comments below. It'll be sharing is caring. Be very helpful. If you are thinking of becoming an Uber driver to maybe finance a new car, or to save for a mortgage for a house, or for some luxury holiday, or whatever your fancy is, I don't know, speedboat, whatever, I don't know, and you've got any questions, leave your comments below. I'll try and answer them as quickly as possible. This is the Gig Guy, London. I'm signing out. Peace.